next sample is the fold down casing. We are going to move our seam gauge to 1/2 inch and do that technique I taught you before, where you pull a little bit more than you need and you push against, use this actual metal slide to push against that raw edge and get that to line up right at 1/2 inch. I like 1/2 inch. There are pattern directions that will tell you to often do this at 1/4 inch. It's just a hard measurement to get to. It's very small. All right, we're going to put a nice press in there. Ignore this, I'm using a old shirt from my husband. So it's a 1/2 inch press, and we're going to do a 1 inch casing. A 1 inch casing is to encase something, and what we're going to be encasing typically is elastic. So this will be something you most likely will do for your first project, since it's an elastic waist pair of pants that we're going to be making. And right there at 1 inch, really accurate. You know, if I'm a little bit off, I'm going to go back and double check. Looks like it's more accurate than I thought it was. That's it. We got a nice press in there. I'm going to put some pins in and we're going to give it a stitch. All right, to sew our 1 inch elastic casing, where we would slot elastic in if it was a full circle, we're going to be stitching very close to this edge, the fold down edge, and very close to this edge. Our guide when we do these can be a part of the presser foot. You can guide along the edge over there. That kind of comes up to whether you pressed super accurate. If I press super accurate, then I can totally guide right there. But if not, I'm better to be guiding on something on the side of the foot here, like just the inner edge of that right now is what I'm looking at, mainly because my angle is not the best. There, and then the back stitch at the end, needle to the top. Learned my lesson recently about that, didn't I? And then pull this out, hook that in the blade, give it a cut. All right, so I ran that right down that edge. And now the next one's going to be right close to this edge. It just gives it a cleaner look, like a really sharp edge on the top as opposed to being kind of puffy. So I rolled my needle by hand so I can see exactly where I want to be before I put the presser foot down. Lower your presser foot, back up, and I've got myself a little guideline just on the inner side of that foot right there, similar to what we did when we did our flat felled seam, just off of the center of it. Got to make sure you're stitching on the fabric there. You don't want to be too far. All right, needle to the top. I feel like I went all the way around on that one. Cut your threads. Cut my threads over here. And that's your casing. We would see this on the right side. Oh my goodness, I have threads everywhere. That would be the right side of the fabric. This is the wrong side. Top edge, bottom edge. Fold down casing.